Thank you very much. Kenyan Ginyan. Wakanda umeweza ku...
Yeah.
You feel you can say something now?
Yes, I think I can say a bit.
Go ahead.
Chakamudume anaitisha nini link?
Haya nitampa sasa hivi.
Yeah, I can say a bit. The first thing is I think there are two major contentious issues. One is electoral justice. The second one is high cost of living. So I've been trying to digest these things after Baba's speech, and I'm seeing point of convergence. Whether someone calls themselves Uda or Hustler, there is that convergence that I think Ruto might find it hard to deal with, because you promised people that you are going to do A, B, C, D. You promised people like Ruto promised his people bottom up, like we are going to uplift people. But in actual sense, he said after 100 days. So after more than 100 days, we are talking about 5 months or 6 months down the line. If you look at where the question is this the bottom up where do we have low cost of living? The answer is no. So even the people who are even those people who are like very activated, like fighting for Uda, I think that morale has gone. No one will be like, let's defend these people. So what this one has done to some extent is giving him time, and these are isolated issues. Like he cannot mobilize, let's say, certain parts of the country to protect him because he is in government. So the only thing that he's left with is to manage the instruments of power, but he cannot mobilize wananchi effectively to protect him. That one, I don't think he will manage it. The high cost of living and electoral justice, the numbers are very clear. And up to now, we are still waiting for ODA or IBC to say that the numbers we are talking about or the numbers Azimio are talking about are not real. And we are also waiting for ODA and Kenya Kwanza and IBC to say that Azimio do not have facts, and here is the website, here is the server. If they can say, here is the server, you confirm, we are 100% sure that we want it, we'll be good. So we don't have any doubt about the integrity of the whistleblower. We know whatever the whistleblower said is 100%, even 101% right. So when we look at Kenya Kwanza and whatever they promised, like their manifesto, they were talking about after baada ya kuweka Biblia chini, bei ya unga itarudi chini, now the cost of electricity will go down and fuel will go down, and remove some of the punitive taxes and make fuel cheaper. That, in fact, at one point, Ruto was talking about fuel having the reason why fuel was expensive was that there were more than 15 or 17 various taxes that the government has imposed on the fuel. So up to now, we are waiting for him to remove all those taxes, but I know he won't. And then the high cost of living, like, it's very simple. There's no need of Gachagua or Ruto or even members of parliament putting us or pushing to get funding for bursaries. We don't need bursaries. What every Kenyan need is free primary and secondary education. Because as we speak, most of these bursaries mostly goes to government institutions like primary or the secondary or universities. I think what is needed is I know that there are people who will deny that, but right now people are crying about high cost of living, watu wanarudisha watoto shule, but pesa kuna, kara kuna. The question is, why should government take money from this coffer and then put it this side and push it to wananchi to pretend that they are doing something, while in actual fact, the government can say, yeah, there's no fee to be paid and everybody can access education with so that no one is left behind. So hii story ya basari ni mchezo ya watoto, waachane na hiyo. And that's why for me, that's why personally I supported Azimio, because in actual sense, you know, history ya nini ya basari, it's bullshit. Because mtu anapewa 10,000, mwingine anapewa 5,000, anapewa this term, next term pia anataka kuapply, and not everybody can access it. So the reason why personally I was like, yes, I believe in Azimio, one of the main issue was that, because it's very clear that if we say education is free, and there are countries which have done it, Finland has done it, and people can access education. So when we want to talk about literacy level, we want to improve services, we want to invest in our youth or the future, we must start with education. And the best way to do it, make education free and accessible to all Kenyans, not bursaries. Bursaries will never make education free and accessible to everyone. So that, for me, that was one of my biggest point of departure, apart with the Kenya Kwanza, apart from the numerous ones like their lack of integrity. In terms of policies, I still believe Azimio had progressive policies. And then when we talk about electoral justice, I think Raila has said it very clear. For me, I'm not clear. I'm not understanding the other bit, but I will leave the other bit to maybe with time I will understand it. But what I understand, the pathway that Raila is setting, number one is to do more rallies, so that this awareness, so that people can understand, everyone, so that it's not only Nairobi, but it should be like a countrywide movement where everybody is in the same page. Before any action, let everyone participate. And one of the things that I think Raila is doing well, or Azimio, Kalonzo, or Martha, what I like about whatever they are doing now is they're engaging people directly from the ground. There is that space for other young people, for people from Mashinani to actively engage in this process, which is very important. The idea of putting MPs, members of parliament, in charge, I think is long gone. Acha Ruto achukue hawa watu awaweke ndani aende nao. We don't have any problem, because some of these people are just defending their interests, personal interests, most of the MPs. And throughout this process, if this is what is going to happen, if it happens that Ruto will buy out MPs thinking that he might derail the process, what will happen is we will have an emerging leadership. We will have people like Mdume. We will have people at the grassroots level who will replace this. It will happen automatically, and I have no doubt with that. Gaucho and other guys will claim their rightful place, because in most cases, the people who normally mobilize people, nobody hears about them. But this is an opportunity for Baba to build that grassroots network, and that team will be unbreakable. That one I know for sure. If the MPs go away, they are actual. In fact, there are Kenyans who feel the pain, who feel the pinch. Some of these MPs will not feel the pain. As we speak, some of them earn like 1 million a month, so they will not feel the pain. But there are young people who feel the pain, who must be at the center of the struggle. And that is one thing that I'm happy about. So if Baba continues the way I think with whatever he's doing, consulting and holding most of the meetings with Wananchi directly to establish that link, I know it will go far. And lastly, when we look at the end game, Baba has two choices as the leader. Baba has to choose whether he wants to check the government, or he has to choose to take whatever belongs to him. So either way, but handshake should not be handshake. We all agree that handshake is not an option. The two options that Baba have is either to be an active opposition leader, of which we are not happy about, or to take what belongs to him. Because when we start talking about, now I can understand, when we start talking about high cost of living, fuel, it is because of the current government which does not have the right policies. Number one, what they did is removing the subsidies, and they said clearly that subsidies that they are going to put subsidies on production, and you wonder, like, which production? What are they producing now? When we are talking about hunger and starvation, it will take about 8 months to grow anything serious. And if you remove subsidies, are you telling people to die? Because you cannot stay angry for 6 months waiting for to collect fertilizer. You cannot stay for 6 months collecting fertilizer because someone is saying that let's wait. And Kenyans have also gone to church. You go to church, you pray. After that, you need to eat. So even the prayers will not help. It's more of an action. Everybody knows how to pray. So kila mtu wanga anaenda, hata pastor mwenye anaomba, in the end of the day they have to eat. So these ideas, we are closer to God than any other person, that is bullshit. Lastly, I've had the guy that calls himself the current AG talking about Article 108, that they want to introduce Article 108 in Parliament so that they can make they can tweak and make a few changes on Article 108. And one of the changes that they are proposing is to change majority and minority leadership, that the person who loses the election becomes the minority leader in parliament. So that they becomes the minority leader and then becomes the opposition leader. So those are I think that is what the Kenya Kwanza is trying to do. For them, they think the solution for this is to have a constitutional amendment, so that the Baba could become opposition leader in parliament, which everyone is. I don't know who is advising them, but we will see where this one will take them. Otherwise, a luta continua. Yeah.
Thank you very much Wakanda. Chaka Mdune, alafu baada ya Chaka tuende kwa Geoffrey, baada ya Geoffrey tuende kwa Lea. Ebu una swali out ninja.
Yes.
Uliza. Chaka subiri kidogo aulize swali.
Before the likes of Chaka warm up the debate that is on the floor, I wanted to make a few corrections here on two of our panelists who have spoken the last. I'm gonna start with Kenyan with love, and Kenyan with love. You spoke very well. You articulated your issues very well, but I got a problem with the way that you are addressing the person who is occupying the office of the president. That person cannot and will not and should never be addressed as a president. And I heard you twice saying President Ruto. Take that out of your vocabulary. That person, if you want to address him, if you want to be respectful, you can say Mr. Ruto. If you want to call her you want to call him with his real names, call him Mwizi Ruto, Thug Ruto, Animal Ruto, Fisi Ruto, ama Haina Ruto, something of that nature. Lakini usijaribu kutuambia President Ruto hapa. The person who gets the majority vote does never becomes the president. The minority vote never becomes the president. Now, I'm done with Kenyan with love. The next person that I wanted to address is Wakanda Forever. Wakanda Forever, we don't have two options. We only have one option. The person who wins the presidency, of all the indications have shown, as IBC have not said that the numbers that they have been presented with, they are wrong, as the current occupier of the office has not rejected those numbers. So we know that that's the person who won. So we have only one option. To take the winner. And I'm going to tell you the winner in a second. Raila Amolo Odinga, seconded by Mother Karua, to the office. We don't have the opposition, the position that you are trying to talk about here being created by the AG of the opposition. That is talk for another day. Once we get Amolo Odinga to the office, and I wanted to make it very clear to you, Mr. Wakanda. It's gonna reach a point. It's not a question of whether the winner, Raila Amolo Odinga, wants or he doesn't want. We will take him there. You win, we give you the sword. I just wanted to make those points. I have got more points, but I wanted just to make those two clear so that you can hear from the other people.
Point taken kabisa. Matu